My name is Belle Rape, and I'm the CEO of Blueprint by Belle, and I am here to answer your questions today. So here we go. Here is question number 1. Could you share with us your personal journey and how your faith has influenced your mission to empower people of influence through wardrobe choices? Yes, personal journey. I'm 43, so it's quite an extensive one, but I have a great story to share with you. So I was so fortunate to work in the marketing department with Tiffany in New York City. And by doing so, I was on the floor with many influential people. I worked in global collateral and the Japan advertising team. So in doing so, I had to get numerous executive sign-offs on the creative that we were providing. And so I was in front of a very influential people at the time on a daily basis. Having a taste of that gave me that desire to be around more people like that, more people with a platform where they could use their voice to influence people. And obviously with Tiffany, they had celebrities and influencers who were coming in and wearing the jewelry, and the common average folk would see the influencers and celebrities wearing the jewelry, and they would want a piece of it too. I wanted more of that in my life. I got caught up in the vibe of New York, and it was have this, have that, be this, do that. When I got back to North Carolina and really back to my roots, I realized that I needed to just take myself off of my high horse a little bit and come down some. So in doing so, I really still loved being around people of influence, but I didn't want that mentality of I have to have this, I have to have that. Instead, I wanted to be able to hone that in and ask them to use their platform and their position to be more of an influence, and their character and their values and integrity to be more of an influence instead of what they had and what they did. It was more about who they were and the heart and soul of who they were and who they are. So that's really how I want to empower more people to do the same thing. And I ended up taking an internal look at myself and trying to do the same thing. Question number 2. How do you believe aligning one's wardrobe with their God-given design can impact their confidence and overall success? Easy peasy, hands down. If you look good, you feel good, and you do good. So I am so fortunate to be able to work with CEOs, business owners, and entrepreneurs who wear suits all day. I also work with CEOs, business owners, and entrepreneurs who wear a t-shirt and jeans all day. And that is a true representation of them and the work that they do. At the end of the day, they need to be showing up as their authentic self. If you're uncomfortable in your clothes, it's going to show all over your face. So first of all, we want to make sure that you're being authentic to yourself and you are comfortable in your clothes. In order to do that, I take inventory of what their daily routine is like, their current wardrobe situation, colors that look good on them, how they typically behave and interact with their clients, their employees, and then we end up forming a wardrobe around that. We also talk about the kingdom impact that they want to have in this world. So again, once we align all of those things and box them up and put them all together, they are able to go out and focus on what God designed them to do instead of, is my fly up today? I'm standing in front of an audience and is my fly up? They don't have to worry about those things. They know that they look good, they're gonna feel good, and they're gonna go out and do good works for God. All right, question number 3. In what ways do you integrate biblical principles into your approach when creating a wardrobe specifically tailored for individuals? I love this question. That's awesome. So when I think of this question, I think of Tabitha or Dorcas in the Bible. Specifically, she's found in Acts in the Bible, and she used her gifts and talents to create and design clothes for the widows and the needy. She gave out of her gifts and talents that she was blessed with, and the financial ability that she had, she had financial generosity. But the biggest thing was that she was using her gifts and talents to give back, and she was providing. She did this as a means of service as well. When I'm working with clients, I like to integrate some of those biblical principles, and I often challenge my clients when we're talking about their custom and curated wardrobes and how we're talking about their personal brand. I really want to dig deep and find out what their passions are, what their God-given ability is, what their talents are, and how they can use that to give back. Because when we give out of that talent and gift, it's easy for us. It often becomes a mode of overflow, a modality of overflow, if you will. So that's how I try to integrate some biblical principles to influence my clients. Question number 4, can you discuss any specific instances where you have witnessed individuals experiencing a deeper connection with their faith through embracing their authentic selves through their wardrobe choices? Yes, 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 and yes. I have several stories. But very specifically, I had a client who went through cancer and she had a double mastectomy, and we were shopping for her wardrobe very specifically to get back out into the dating scene. And what I do, how I start those client interactions is I ask them, what are 3 words that you really want to define yourself as? So we go through the 3 words. So then when we go shopping, we make sure that every piece of clothing aligns with those 3 words. And it was very interesting to see how she used those 3 words. And when we were shopping, she said, you know what, I really love this, but I feel like this was the old me. It doesn't define the new me. It's not going to portray the woman that I want to be when I'm on the dating scene. So there wasn't a specific Bible verse or anything that went into that, but it made her start to think deeper and how she was presenting herself and portraying the woman that she wanted to become. I've also had other clients that I have worked with, one in particular, who, as we were working together, we started talking about our diet and nutrition because, you know, having an appearance is not just about your appearance alone. It is about your behavior and your communication, and people are watching. People are always watching. So through our work together, she realized that she was drinking quite a bit, and she was drinking to cope with the stress of the day. We all do that. We fall into that trap. She was drinking to celebrate. She was drinking to, you know, just have a good time, and wasn't an alcoholic by any stretch of the imagination, but she did realize that it was becoming a coping mechanism. So through that, she said, you know what? I don't need to drink right now. I need to focus a little bit more on the woman that God designed me to be, and the work that I'm doing and how I'm helping my clients, how I'm showing up for my clients. And it was just absolutely incredible to see that. And that comes through just everyday, just casual conversations as I get to work with my clients, and I get to see full blossoming and blooming of my clients. It doesn't happen with every client, but to be able to see that is absolutely astounding. And it's such a gift to see, and that I get to share with your audience also. Question number 5, what advice would you give to someone who is seeking to align their personal style with their faith and purpose, but feels overwhelmed or unsure of where to start? Amazing question. This is super simple. I want you to think of 3 words that you aspire to be, that you want to be like. What are 3 adjectives that you want to use to describe yourself? It could be joyful, bubbly, magnifying, elevated, sophisticated, timeless, classic, any of those words. That's step 1. Step 2, I want you to think of 3 influential people that, or they don't even have to be influential, but think of 3 people that you admire. After you do that, you take a characteristic from each of those people and align them with the 3 words that you described. So now you have a full vision of the person that you want to become and starting to define your own personal style. I know it may seem a little daunting, but that truly is such an easy step. Also, If you want a really, really simple freebie step, I have on my website, I have a free download that gives you men and women, it gives men and women the top three things that you need to have in your wardrobe. So it's your top 3 wardrobe essentials. So hop on over my website and download that. And again, these 3 things are for men and women, and you can use these 3 things year round. So that's another free thing for you, and that's another simple thing that you can do. Question number 6. How do you navigate the balance between staying true to one's faith while also considering current fashion trends and industry standards? Y'all, this is a constant struggle. The struggle is so real. I, of all people, love fashion trends. I love watching them. I love walking through stores and absorbing the new fashion trends. I mean, seriously, shopping is a hobby for me. Just window shopping is a hobby for me. I don't have to buy anything. I get such pleasure out of it. So I get to see all of the trends, everything from cuts and colors to styles and men and women and children, and it's just so fascinating. But at the end of the day, I know that all of those trends aren't for me. They're not for my clients. And in order to stay true to my faith, I've got to make sure that I have a barometer that I measure myself against. So my barometer is my grandmother. She is no longer with me. She's long since passed. But I always ask myself, you know, if I were going out of the house dressed like this, would Mimi approve? Now, my grandmother was the most stylish, the most fashionable, the trendiest woman, and she was also just glamorous. She just oozed glamour. So she is my benchmark. I always want to make her proud. There's one side of the spectrum. The other side of the spectrum are my nieces. I always want to make sure that I am making them proud. I want them to have someone to look up to aspire to be better than me. But I never want them to look at me, anything that I'm wearing, and put it on and be ashamed or embarrassed or get shamed of what they are wearing. So modest is hottest, stay within that realm. But you can see, as I'm wearing today, you can do this, you can still be trendy and covered up in a very fashionable way. So you don't have to miss out on all the trends. It's just that all the trends happen to be worldly sometimes, and we are called to be not of this world. We're supposed to be in the world, but not of it. All right, number 7, can you share any testimonies or stories of individuals who have experienced a transformation in their faith and overall influence after embracing their authentic selves through their wardrobe choices? Yes, I feel like I answered this in question number 4, but I'll expound upon that a little bit. So when I work with my clients, I work with them on their ABCs, their appearance, behavior, and communication. So it's not only about your appearance, we also talk about your behavior and your communication. So how you present yourself to the world, whether that is through your mask of hiding through social media, where you're behind a screen, that's what I mean by a mask, or whether you're actually in a platform, you're engaging on a podcast, you're on a stage, you're on an interview. I am so fortunate to work with several clients who are very influential, so I want to make sure that they're using their platform for the good. So while we are working together, we discuss their goals, their vision, their values, their integrity, and we try to really solidify that. So especially when we're out and we're shopping, we use those 3 words that they had to define themselves to make sure that what they select is truly aligned with those 3 words, the person that they want to be, the person that they want to become, and the person that they know that God created them to be. Righty, question number 8. What role do you believe modesty plays in fashion, especially for Christian women, and how do you address this aspect in your work? I'm actually going to break this down into 2 parts, women and men. I will start by saying that my mantra is modest is hottest. I personally struggle with this because there are times where I'm like, you know what? I work out, I eat really well, I want to show a little skin, but I know that I have nieces at home who are looking up to me. So I want to make sure that whatever I wear, I would never be embarrassed for them to be wearing the same thing, okay? So I definitely talk to my women clients specifically and tell them modest is hottest. Now, we do need to be careful in how we're presenting ourselves. Now, we do live in a very judgmental world, so people are going to judge you in the blink of an eye, and it takes a matter of maybe 5 to 7 seconds for someone to judge you. So I want my women to think, what am I wearing? How am I wearing it? Is this truly how I want to present myself? Is this giving off the vibe that I want someone who doesn't know me to take in and say, that woman is classic, that woman is classy, that woman has knowledge in her brain? So I want to think about that. The other aspect of that is also, really, how are you presenting yourself? If you're presenting yourself in a way that you are scantily clad, are you going to make someone fall? And that's not up to you. We don't know what men are super attracted to. Men could be attracted to scantily clad women. Men could be attracted to women who have a paper bag over their head. Who knows? But as Christian women, we don't want to cause someone to fall and to fail. So we want to be modest. Now, aspect number 2 of this is our men. Modest is hottest for men. Typically, men's wardrobes, they are covered up. They're not scantily clad. But what I mean by that for men is their mouth. Take a second to absorb that. Men sit in rooms with women all the time. And what are the conversations that they have? Are they having conversations that are inappropriate, that they would not want their daughters to hear, their mothers to hear, their wives to hear? Then why would you have that conversation with anyone else? Okay? If you would not have that conversation in front of any of those people, do not have that conversation with women in the room. If you are a man in a room, I challenge you to take on that modesty and just say, hey, you know what? We're not going to have that conversation here. This is not how gentlemen act. So there's my motto. Modest is hottest for women and men. Question number 9. How do you see your work impacting not only the lives of your clients, but also the fashion industry as a whole, particularly in terms of promoting values and principles rooted in Christianity? Question. That is a loaded question. First of all, I would love to be a positive impact on my clients. I think sometimes I am. I know I get testimonials and reviews where I am, and I truly, truly love that. I do believe that this is what I'm called to do, who I am to be. And again, I'm so fortunate to be able to work with clients who have a big platform and who can speak out. Now, as far as the fashion industry goes, I would love to have more of those clients. I think the world is truly craving the need for integrity and values that are rooted in Christianity, that are rooted in our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. You see the movies, like people are going to the movies in droves to learn more about, the child sex trafficking and how they can help, to learn more about underprivileged and underserved. And I think that the fashion industry can take more of a stand in that by, even I can take more of a stand in that and helping dress people of impact and influence so that they can go out and do what they were designed to do. They have a voice to go out and do what they were designed to do, to use their appearance, as much as we judge a book by its cover, but to use their appearance to go out and impact this world for good. It's a 10. Question number 10. What future goals or aspirations do you have for your mission, and how do you plan on expanding your impact in the lives of people of influence? Love it. My mission, my husband's mission, our mission for our business is to give back, donate, or contribute $1 billion towards missions in this world. We're currently defining what that really looks like. We're working with a legal team to figure out what that looks like. And we have family who do missions, and we are super passionate about it. My husband and I do want to do more missions in our own lives. We know that we are called as the Great Commission to reach people far from God. So we want to be able to use the generosity from others to help create a lasting impact, a future impact, and a further impact on this world. Now, with me specifically with my clients who have a great platform, I'm going to encourage them to do the same. And anybody can do this. You don't have to have a large platform to do it. You can be a person of influence. If you're a mama that stays at home with your babies, you can be a person of influence. If you are a CEO of a company, you can be a person of influence. It doesn't matter where you are on the spectrum of life, you can be a person of influence. You can be young and old. It doesn't matter what color you are, what race you are. Go out and preach the word and build his kingdom. That's what we're all called to do. Final question, drum roll, please. How can your readers connect with me? I would love so much to connect with your readers. They can find me on my website at www.blueprintbybelle.com. That's blueprintbybelle.com. You can also find me on Instagram at Belle Rape. That's BELLERAPE. That's who I am. Thank you so much for this interview. I am so grateful for the connection with you, beyond grateful. And I cannot wait to see how you are reaching above and beyond and further into this world to build a kingdom for him. Thank you. Mwah, mwah, mwah.